Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan, and I wanted to just do a quick preview episode as to what this podcast is all about. This is a podcast that is focused on interactive story video games. So examples of this would be something like Telltale games, or the games from Don't Nod, or even the games from Naughty Dog. They're a little less or choice-based, but still interactive. And I think I like these games for a lot of reasons, but a couple. One being is that they're pretty similar to a good television show. I think in the last, 10 years, there's been an insane amount of really good TV shows. Things like Breaking Bad or Fargo or Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, True Detective, whatever. There's been plenty of good shows, and I think that an interactive story game well done, is as good or even better than some of those television shows. I think one reason is that my involvement produces buy-in. I've found when I've played games like this that are good, such as Telltale Walking Dead Season 1, I love that game. It was so great, and I found that I cared more about Clementine and Lee in that than characters even in my favorite shows. And I think that me being involved, me making decisions, me choosing which characters to have stronger relationships with really made a big impact on my experience playing the game, and probably yours if you like those kinds of games. So my involvement produces buy-in. Another thing that I think is great about these games is debating these key decisions that show up in the games, or the key moral decisions. Telltale specifically usually outlines where there's, 4 or 5 big decisions that happen in the episode, and people make one and it impacts the story, or maybe relationships with other characters, that sort of deal. And when I've played these, I've felt very strongly that, my decision is the best one, I made it, it's canon, it's the right thing. But then what I've found is when I'll go online and interact with other fans of the game, that they made the opposite decision as me, or maybe a somewhat different decision as me, and they have good reasons that support why they did what they did. I think that that's where this podcast can be awesome, because everyone's experience and how they played the game be awesome to hear. If I feel like decision 1 is the way to go, but you really feel like decision 2 is the way to go, being able to interact with both of those thoughts together on the podcast through, my own thoughts and then, thoughts from listeners would be awesome. It would be so cool. And, exciting to hear about. A experience that really won me over to this style of game was when I was playing Walking Dead Season 1 by Telltale, and there was this character that I just hated the whole time and didn't like, and even when I was not playing, I was like, alright, if I get a chance to kill that character, I'm definitely doing it. He's an asshole. And then later on in the game, there's an opportunity where you can choose to kill the character or not. And I found myself changing sides on that. I was like, I can't do this. This is wrong. Like, he doesn't deserve to go out like this. I can't do that. I think that shows the excellence of the storytelling in that moment, that I could feel so strongly one way, and then the game flips me to the opposite side and making a different decision. So I thought that was really great. Criticisms that I hear for games like this is that the story's going to happen anyway. You don't influence anything. And I think there is some truth to that. I think that with these games, a lot of times your starting point and your ending point are more similar than different. The master story or the main story, that arc, will probably go where it goes. Some people have a big problem with that. Well, then that means everything I did in between doesn't matter. I would disagree. I think instead that your experience happens in that middle time, and how you relate with characters, whether it's a character who you really enjoyed and really likes your character, or the opposite, where you hate that character and they hate you back. That really impacts my enjoyment, my buy-in in the game. And I think that the overarching story, if it's good, then I don't think it's much of a problem. I think when that story's not good, then it feels much more like a problem. So that's my opinion. You might feel different, but yeah, that's where we're headed, I guess. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Oxenfree, so check that game out. Lastly, if you want to contact us, you can email us at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed, or you can find us on Twitter at StoryEverPod. Let us know any games you'd like us to do. After Oxenfree, I think we're going to do Life is Strange, but after that, I'm not sure where we're going. So if you have ideas that you think would be fun, let us know, and talk to you later.